Hello there, my brilliant buddies. Guess who it is? It's your pal, Blippi, ready to dive into a world of wonder and discovery. I'm absolutely bursting with excitement because you decided to join me today. We're about to embark on a super fun adventure filled with learning and laughter. Get ready to have your minds blown. Today's adventure isn't just any ordinary activity. It's a super special science experiment that's going to tickle your curiosity and make you say, wow. We're going to explore the magic of science together. And what's this super special science experiment, you ask? Well, buckle up because we're diving into a game called Float or Sink. It's a game of predictions, observations, and a whole lot of fun. We're not just going to watch, we're going to be scientists. We'll be testing all kinds of cool and interesting objects to see what happens when they meet the water. Get ready to make some predictions. And our laboratory for today's experiment is this big, clear tub of water. It's the perfect place to observe whether things float gracefully on top or take a dive to the bottom. Now here's where you come in, my super smart friends. Your job, should you choose to accept it, is to guess. Will each object float peacefully on top of the water, like a boat on the sea, or will it sink down to the very bottom? What do you think? Don't be shy. I want to hear your amazing predictions. Shout your answer at the screen as loud as you can. Let's make some noise for science. To make things even more exciting, I have a box filled with mystery objects, a treasure chest of scientific possibilities. Inside, you'll find some familiar faces from the kitchen, things we use every day to cook and eat. We also have some treasures gathered from the great outdoors, things that come from nature all around us. And of course, what would a Blippi experiment be without some fun and colourful toys? For each and every object, I'm going to carefully hold it up for you to see, and all you have to do is use your super smart brains and yell out "float" if you think it will stay on top, or "sink" if you think it will go down. Before we get started, let's do a little practice round to warm up those prediction muscles. Say "float." Nice and loud. Excellent. Now, with just as much enthusiasm, say "sink." Can you feel the excitement building? Awesome. You guys are quick learners. I can already tell we're going to have a blast. Because today we're not just friends, we're a science team, working together to uncover the mysteries of the world around us. So get ready for some splashing, some guessing, and a whole lot of scientific fun. It's time to put on our thinking caps and get ready to explore. The water's waiting patiently, shimmering and ready to reveal its secrets. It's eagerly anticipating the arrival of our first mystery object. What could it be? So without further ado, let the guessing begin. Are you ready to become a float or sink expert? Let's do this. Have you ever wondered why some things float and others sink? It's a question that has puzzled scientists and curious minds for centuries. We see it all the time. A beach ball effortlessly bobbing on the waves, while a pebble disappears into the depths. But what's the secret behind this watery dance? So what does it mean to float? When something floats, it stays on top of the water, almost as if it's defying gravity. It's like the water is giving it a gentle hug, preventing it from sinking down below. Think of a lightweight leaf gracefully gliding on the surface of a pond, or a playful rubber ducky happily bobbing in your bathtub. These objects are all masters of buoyancy, effortlessly staying afloat. A perfect example is a pool noodle. These colourful foam tubes are designed to keep you afloat in the water, making swimming and playing even more fun. They're lightweight and filled with air, which helps them stay on top of the water. It's like having your own personal floating device. Sinking is the opposite. It's when an object succumbs to the pull of gravity and descends into the watery depths. Instead of staying on top, it disappears from view, sinking down to the bottom. When something goes all the way down to the bottom, like a heavy rock or a metal spoon, these objects are denser than water, meaning they have more mass packed into the same amount of space. This extra density makes them sink like a stone. Imagine a toy car in a pool. It's small, but it's made of heavy materials, so it quickly sinks to the bottom. It's a simple demonstration of how density affects whether something floats or sinks. Now, here's where things get interesting. Some things that look big might float, defying our initial expectations. A large, inflatable raft, for instance, takes up a lot of space, but it's filled with air, making it less dense than water. Conversely, some small things might sink, even though they appear insignificant. A tiny pebble, for example, is small in size, but it's made of dense rock, causing it to plummet to the bottom. It's not always about size, it's about density. You never know until you try and conduct your own experiments. That's the beauty of science. It challenges our assumptions and encourages us to explore the world around us. That's what makes science so exciting. It's a journey of discovery where we get to test our ideas and learn new things. Each experiment is a chance to unravel the mysteries of the universe, one floating or sinking object at a time. So watch closely when we test each object. Pay attention to what happens when it enters the water. Does it gently rest on the surface, or does it quickly disappear below? Observe, analyze, and let your curiosity guide you. Will it stay up high, gracefully floating on the surface, or go down low, sinking to the depths below? It's a simple question, but the answer can reveal a lot about the object's properties and the principles of buoyancy. Put on your pretend detective hats, science team. We're about to embark on a scientific investigation where we'll use our powers of observation and deduction to solve the mystery of floating and sinking. Let's grab our first mystery object and get started. Are you ready to dive into the world of buoyancy and uncover the secrets of floating and sinking? Let the experiment begin. Here's our first object, a colourful, bouncy ball. It's round, squishy, and not too heavy. What do you think will happen when I put it in the water? Float or sink? Shout your guess. Let's find out, counting down. 1, 2, 3, go! Look, the ball is floating. It's bobbing right on top of the water. If you guessed float, you were right. If you guessed sink, that's okay. Science is about learning. The bouncy ball is a floater, just relaxing on the water. What will our next object be? Next up, a bright yellow sponge. It's super squishy and light, like a little cloud. What's your hypothesis? Will it float or sink? Shout your answer. Let's test it. 1, 2, 3, plop. At first it's floating, but wait. It's soaking up water and getting heavier. Now it's sinking. The sponge floated, then sank. What a surprise. Science is full of surprises. Let's see what's next. Time for a shiny red apple. It's round, smooth, and heavier than the sponge. What do you think? Will it float or sink? Make your guess. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Splash. The apple is floating. Even though it felt heavy, it's less dense than water. That's a big science word. Less dense means the water can hold it up. Awesome job, science team. Now a shiny metal spoon. It's small but feels heavy for its size. What's your guess? Float or sink? Shout it out. Let's test it. 1, 2, 3, drop. The spoon sank straight to the bottom. It didn't even try to float. If you guessed sink, you were right. The spoon is more dense than water, so down it went. Great work, team. Next, I found a green leaf outside. It's thin, light, and tickly. What do you think? Will it float or sink? Make your guess. I'll gently place it on the water. And look, it's floating. The leaf is so light, the water holds it up easily. I can even blow on it and make it sail across the water. You're getting so good at this game. Let's do one more. Last object, a big plastic toy boat. It's hollow and made for water. What do you think? Will it float or sink? Shout your answer. Boats are designed to float, right? Let's test it. Gently placing it in the water. And it's floating perfectly. The boat is the best floater of the day, bobbing with the apple, ball, and leaf. Our tub is full of floaters, and on the bottom are our sinkers, the spoon and the sponge. What a great way to end our experiment. Alright, budding scientists, let's take a moment to recap everything we've discovered in our fascinating float or sink experiment. We've seen some incredible things happen, haven't we? Remember all the predictions we made at the beginning? Now it's time to see if our hunches were right, and solidify our understanding of why some objects float and others sink. This is a crucial part of the scientific process, reviewing our findings to truly grasp the concepts. So gather round, and let's dive back into the world of buoyancy and density. We learned some things float. They happily stay on the surface of the water, almost as if they're dancing on top. Like the ball, bobbing gently, a perfect example of an object less dense than water. It's light and airy, allowing it to stay afloat with ease. Think about how much fun it is to play with a ball in the water. Now you know a little bit about the science behind it. Apple, a delicious and buoyant treat. Even though it's solid, the apple contains air pockets that help it stay afloat. It's amazing how nature has designed things, isn't it? This is a great reminder that science is all around us, even in the fruit we eat. Leaf, so delicate and light, gracefully gliding across the water's surface. Its large, flat shape helps distribute its weight, allowing it to float effortlessly. Leaves are nature's little boats, carried by the wind and water. And boat. The boat is designed to float, of course. Its shape displaces a large amount of water, creating an upward force that keeps it from sinking. Boats are a fantastic example of how we can use science to create things that help us explore the world. Others sink. They disappear beneath the surface, pulled down by gravity because they are denser than water. Like the spoon, a heavy piece of metal that quickly descends to the bottom. Metal is much denser than water, which is why it sinks so easily, and the sponge that tricked us. When dry, it floats, but once it absorbs water, it becomes heavier and sinks. This is a great example of how an object's density can change depending on what it's holding. Floating means staying on top. It's all about being less dense than the water around you. Sinking means going to the bottom, because the object is denser and heavier than the water. Science is all about discovering new things, asking questions, and finding answers through experiments and observations. And you were amazing science detectives. You used your curiosity and observation skills to uncover the secrets of floating and sinking. You can try this float or sink experiment at home. It's a fun and easy way to learn about science using everyday objects. With your grown-ups' help. Make sure to ask them to supervise and help you gather the materials you need. Look for safe things to test, things that won't get ruined by water and are safe for you to handle. Maybe a crayon or a rubber ducky. Bath toys are always a great option, and crayons can add a splash of colour to your experiment. Keep exploring, keep guessing, keep asking why and how. The more you question, the more you'll learn, and keep having fun. Science is an adventure, and the best way to learn is by enjoying the process of discovery. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. I hope you had as much fun as I did exploring the world of floating and sinking. Remember to always be curious and keep experimenting.